Hey, this is Daniel from Adorama. I'm here at my studio and making some portraits using holiday lights. So normally when I'm making portraits in the studio with flash, I like to set my aperture around 5.6. This gives me enough space where I know the whole head is in focus, and if the person moves, they're gonna stay in focus and I don't have to worry about it too much. But today we're gonna work with more wide open type apertures so we can control the out of focus areas in the background. Essentially, the closer that you are to a subject relative to how far they are from the background is going to affect how in focus the background is. So you can see that I'm pushed all the ways against the wall here because I want to move Marissa close enough to me so that the background is as far away as possible. That's going to allow the lights that are in the background to be as out of focus as possible because we don't want to see, all the strings and all this stuff from the lights. We just want to see the little circles of light. So let me just show you what it'll look like. I'm using a Profoto B2 with the beauty dish to control my light spill, and I have a little kicker light in the background to separate her out. If I shoot it at 5.6 like I normally do, so work this way a little bit. So while we have a nicely lit shot of Marissa and the lights are out of focus in the background, I don't see any of the strings or anything like that, I just have these little tiny dots of colored light, which is not really that interesting. But now using my aperture, if I open up, not only will they become more out of focus, if that's even possible because they're already out of focus, but they'll become larger because I'll have a larger opening on my lens. So the more I open up my lens, the larger the circles of light will be behind her. So let me go to a 2.8 because that's pretty reasonable. Most people have at least one lens that goes to 2.8. Now because I'm using a Profoto B2, it's a TTL flash, I don't have to change anything here. It's going to give me a proper exposure anyways. And there we go, the circles are bigger. They're not brighter because I adjusted my shutter speed accordingly. Because I had my shutter speed, at a certain spot for 5.6. When I opened up to 2.8, I adjusted my shutter in the other direction to keep my background lights of the same exposure. If I want them to be brighter, I can adjust my shutter speed now. My flash will stay the same. So let me make them a little bit brighter. Let's see what that looks like. Typically with colored lights, I don't want them to be too bright because then I'll lose the color. But let's just see. Yeah, that's nice. So here we are at a 2.8. At a 15th of a second, I'm on a tripod. She's not moving. I'm using a flash. So it's totally fine to shoot that slow. It's not going to be an issue at all. Now, I happen to have a 85 1.2 lens, so I can open up even further. And let me show you how big we can get those circles in the background. Boom, now those circles become really big, really colorful circles in the background. Now, of course, that's the obvious thing. Put something with holiday lights behind the person, you get the nice lights, but you can also, they're cheap enough to grab a couple extra strings, you can also put them in the foreground. So we could actually take these lights and put them between the camera and Marissa. Now, if I put them in this close where I am right now, because they're so close to the camera, they're gonna be gigantic, which could be cool depending on how you do it. So I'm creating these kind of big circles in the foreground. It's really eating up a lot of her face. It's not really gonna be that great for a shot. Let's see if we move them closer to her. Like I can have Dave come in and move these in so they're closer to Marissa, but not too close. If they're too close to her, then they'll fall within her zone of focus, and then they'll just be holiday lights in the foreground. So it's just a trick of finding the right spot. Beautiful. We have nice circles of light in the foreground, we have colorful circles of light in the background, and Marissa's lit really beautifully evenly by the Profoto. One important thing to remember here is that these are the regular incandescent style holiday lights. If you get the LED style ones, they may flicker. So you want to get these ones, they're actually cheaper anyways, so that works out for you if you're just throwing them in your camera kit. So I hope you found this interesting and you'll use this technique around your holidays or pick these up right after the holiday for a super discount price. Also, if you're a filmmaker, they're great to throw in the background of an interview just to add some extra light back there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time on set.